and good afternoon, folks, and welcome back to the channel. I thank all of you for watching. I thank all my subscribers, and now we are ready to move on. All that epoxy work is done. I thank you for bearing with me on that. You know, that was what, 3-4 videos long, and yeah, that was quite the project right there, getting all of those corners filled in with the epoxy. But now we are ready to start closing out the transom area. In step one, I had to come out here this afternoon and stare at this thing for about 15-20 minutes to figure out how I wanted this area to look. The original plan was to cut a piece of that 3/8 Meranti plywood and just sort of fill this gap right here on this corner. It would have almost looked like a oversized gusset, but when I bought my fuel tank, as you can see, it's a perfect fit right there for that corner. That's a 3-gallon tank. I'm going to get another one for that corner. I'll carry 6 gallons total. And like I said, I mean, it's a perfect fit in that corner. But if I put that little piece of plywood in here like I was planning on doing, you know, bringing it across this gap here at this angle, and this makes roughly about a 30-degree angle right here. The corner right here would be sticking out. Let me just lay this piece of aluminum right here across that gap right there. Pretend this is a piece of 3/8 Meranti, and that's the edge of it right here. Just use your imaginations there for a second. That just would not look right with this gas tank sticking out on that corner right there. So what I'm going to do instead, I'm going to close this whole area in right here all the way across with one piece, and that will close in this area. I can tuck the gas tanks up underneath. It's going to be a little cap right in this area here, and what I'll do for this area is I'll just cut this out right here, and hopefully I'll leave myself enough room so I can get my hand down in there and clamp the outboard to the transom. I think this is going to be enough room right here. I will probably have to open up that box and take some measurements off the outboard just to make sure, but I don't think those clamps protrude way out to here. I think this is plenty of room. There'll be plenty of clearance right there once I cut that little notch out right here out of that one solid piece. And I'll probably also just box this in right here. I'll probably close this whole area up right here and not have it open right here. So that's the plan. We're back to cutting plywood. So yeah, like I said in that last video, I was ready to move on. So let's move on. Okay, folks, good morning. And this is what I was talking about right here. This is going to be the enclosure for the transom area right here. And of course, I still got to notch this area out for the outboard. This is where the outboard is going to attach, and like I said, I still got to measure that off and cut that out. But this is kind of just a rough end right here. Of course, that's not going to just end abruptly like this, so this will get capped on the ends and rounded off and fiberglassed, and it'll be something like that when I'm done with it. I just need to be able to reach underneath here and get this fuel tank out whenever I need to pull that fuel tank out and gas up. And so I'll just have to make sure that this handle right here will clear whatever little piece I put across here. All right, I just need to get back to work on that. I'll be back. Okay, folks, I've got this piece down on the floor now. And what I decided to do in these corners was radius these corners, and I'm going to use a Forstner bit to cut the corners, as opposed to just taking the jigsaw and just cutting square corners. So let me get the camera set up, and I'll just take you through that. Nice clean hole. It's important to use a piece of wood on the back side so that the bit doesn't go crashing through splintering the plywood. So all I need to do now is get the other side done. I'll be back. And as soon as I start seeing yellow pine, that's when I know I'm done. Okay, I've got that piece back up on my makeshift sawhorses here. And I tell you what, it's good to be back cutting plywood again. You know, after months and months and months of fiberglass work and epoxy work and fairing and painting. Like I said, it's just good to be breaking out the saws and cutting plywood again. Now there is more fiberglass work to be done, to be sure, but you know, like I said, it's just good to be cutting and sawing again. All right, folks, I'm gonna get this set up here, and we're gonna cut this piece out. Alright, let's see how that's going to look, and keep in mind this is just an initial test fit. I'm trying to hold this camera with one hand and this plywood with the other. Tell you what, folks, I'm going to cut the camera off for just a second. I'm going to get this piece put in place here, and like I said, this is just an initial test fit, so I'll be right back. Okay, so that is the initial test fit right there, and looks like I'm going to have to take a little bit of material off this edge so this whole piece can slide this way, and try to get this surface right here as even with this edge right here as we can. Well, it's probably not going to be perfect, but you know, that's why we have epoxy and fiberglass and all that good stuff. Alright, folks, we'll be right back. I'm going to work on that some more. Okay, well, that didn't take just a whole lot. We've got this edge knocked off right here, just enough to move this whole piece over towards the left-hand side. I do have just a little bit of an edge right here on this brace that you can see right there. It's where I'm running my fingernail, and I'm just going to have to take care of that with the epoxy. This edge will get rounded over anyway because all this gets fiberglassed, and I've talked about that in the past. You know, you got to round the edges, and so all I really need to do now is just do my finish sanding and get it ready to bond in place. This really did not take just a whole lot of cutting and precision sanding to get it ready. But like I said, this edge right here, we'll take care of that with the epoxy. Now, I was a little bit concerned about these radiuses after I drilled those holes right there on the corners with the Forstner bit, because underneath here I have like a 45-degree angle on this brace, and I thought, you know, is that corner going to be visible? But that looks like that's going to tidy up just nice right there. That's not going to be an issue. So, all right, let me get my finish sanding done, and I'll be back. I'll see you in the next segment. Oh, and in case you're wondering about this gap right here, not a problem. Remember, all of this gets fiberglassed, and so what I'll do is I'll just put a filler piece in here, and then by the time I fair over that with the epoxy and fairing compound, you won't even see that there. Plus, that'll also give me an opportunity to do something with this corner right here. I'll probably just cut my filler pieces with a little 45-degree angle on one end and just kind of make this corner look neat. All right, I'll be back. Okay, I've got this piece finished out right here for now. I mean, I still have some more work to do to it, but I've got the corners rounded over. That's how that's going to look right there. I'm not going to sand that anymore. I like the way this looks right here. I do need to match sand this corner right here to match this edge where I'm running my finger. And also, I need to talk about that seat right there. That's an ice chest / boat seat. I'm not sure I don't know if the tiller handle's going to clear. That seat might be too high. I may have to go shopping for a seat that's maybe comes up to about right here. This is 16.5 inches. And then of course I also have to factor in the thickness of the floor panel down here that is not in yet. So that's going to sit just a little bit higher still by the time the floors are finished. Like I said, I got to take some measurements and make sure the tiller handle is going to clear, because if the tiller handle bumps it right here, then yeah, I'm going to have to locate a seat that doesn't sit quite so high. Maybe find one that sits 14 inches. This one here, I think I mentioned just a moment ago, 16.5 inches. And so we'll see. I'm going to go ahead and take some measurements off of an outboard out at Cabela's. I think I'm just going to go ahead and run out there instead of unboxing my outboard right here. It'd probably be faster just to go to Cabela's and take some measurements off of one of the little Mercury outboards that they have on display out there and see if that tiller handle is going to clear. I'm hoping it's up high enough that it will clear the top of this seat slash ice chest. And also, since the tiller handle is offset, I don't know if I should mount this seat offset or not, or keep it in the center. I haven't decided yet. I probably need to look at some other boats, some other home-built boats, and see what some of those builders did. All right, folks, that's it for now. I'm going to head out to Cabela's. Like I said, I'm gonna go take a look at the outboards on display and take some measurements and then see what I need to do here. All right, I'll be back. Okay, folks, I'm back. And as you can see, I've been busy out here. I came out here this morning and made this little filler piece right here that I talked about, and kind of took care of two issues at the same time. Issue number one, took care of this 2-inch gap, and the second issue, of course, I just wanted to dress up this corner right here. I did not want just a plain 90-degree angle right here in this area, and so like I said, I just took care of both issues with that little filler piece. Now, you may be wondering, why didn't I just use an 18-inch wide piece of plywood so that it would have butted up against the back end of this other cap right here? Well, that's because I did not have an 18-inch wide piece of plywood to use for that. This is what I had. Now, I do have one full 4x8 sheet of that 3/8 Meranti left over here on my plywood pile, but I still need to make my forward deck, and I just did not want to cut up that full sheet just yet. So this is the route we went. And then by the time I bond this in, fiberglass it, and paint it, that's not even going to be noticeable. And then tomorrow morning, I just need to come out here and make one just like that for the other side. All right, I'll be back. Oops, almost forgot. I wanted to talk about my seat slash ice chest here for just a moment. I am seriously thinking about making a custom bench seat. I have not made that decision just yet, but I am kind of going over it in my head, just trying to come up with a design for a sturdy bench seat. That ice chest right there is just a little bit too high. I'm concerned that it may not clear the tiller handle. The only way I'm going to find out is I'm going to have to take the outboard out of that box, mount it, and we're just going to have to just see how everything, we're just going to have to see how everything falls together. And like I said, I kind of think this ice chest is just a little bit too high. Yes, I could move it forward just a little bit, but then that's going to kind of force me to sort of turn at an awkward angle to operate that outboard once I get it in the water. And above everything else, I want to make sure that I can operate this boat comfortably, without putting any twists and turns and knots in my back, any more than I already have. All right, folks, like I said, I have not made that call just yet. It's still something I'm thinking about. more to come on that. Okay folks, I'm back, and just like that, I've got this other little corner piece cut, and it's ready to bond in place once I finish making all the little pieces and parts that need to go in this area. Like I said, I still need to box this area in, and also I've got to make a little piece to go across the span right here to close out this area. I'm not just going to leave just bare plywood right there. I do want to dress that up right there. I want to dress up that edge, and so I've got a little piece of cypress wood right here that I'm going to use. I've just got to figure out all the angles and how I want it to look, and of course, you know, keep in mind too that I have to allow enough room for this fuel tank to clear. So that's it. I think we're going to go ahead and wrap up this video right here, and we'll just continue all of this in the next video. And so folks, I do thank you all for watching. Like I said at the beginning of this video, I'm glad to finally move on to other things now as far as this boat build is concerned. And again, I just want to thank all my subscribers and thank all of you for clicking on this video. And God bless each and every one of you. And as I always say, in all things, to God be the glory.